Okay, so this is from the homework. Given a function f, find the slope of the line tangent to the graph of f inverse at the specified point on the graph of f inverse. So the function f of x is radical 3x, and the point, which is a point on the graph of f inverse, is 927. Okay, so the wording of this I feel like is kind of terrible. So 927 is part of f inverse, and then f of x, which is related to f inverse, is radical 3x. So we know that if 927 is on f inverse, then 27/9 is on, that's a comma, is on f. Because the inverse relationship is you switch x with y. Okay, so now we're assuming that the function f inverse of x is differentiable at that point 927. Okay, so I guess kind of basic not forget when we're trying to find the slope of a tangent line, that's just fancy for derivative. Okay, so let's find f prime of x. So if my f of x, that's too small. If my f of x is radical 3x, which remember a square root is really a power 1/2, then if I want to take the derivative of that, I'm going to bring down. So I'm going to bring down the 1/2 out front, and I'm going to bring it down with subtraction. So I'll have 1/2 times 3x raised to the power negative 1/2. But since the thing that I was raising to a power originally was not just x, I then have to chain rule and times by the derivative of this inside function. So I'm going to times by 3. So f prime of x is going to be 3/2 times 3x raised to the negative 1/2, or you can write that as a radical of 3x, but then it has to go in the bottom of the fraction. 3/2 square root 3x. So now there's this rule that says so let's write this rule down. If the inverse function has a derivative at this value y0, then it has to equal 1 over the derivative of the original function at x0. Oops, I need to put the 0. x0. Okay, so here's f prime of x. When we're talking about x0, y0, the x and y come from the original function. So we're going to be using this 27,9 as my x0, y0. So now we have to find f prime of 27. So that's going to be 3/2 square roots of 3 times 27, which is 3/2 times the square root of 81. And the square root of 81 is 9. So 3/2 times 9, which is 1/6, right? Because 3 cancels with 9, so I get 1 over 6. So that's the slope of the function. That's the slope of the tangent line on the original function at that x0. We want the slope of the tangent line of the inverse function. So it's going to be the reciprocal of that, because your, like, the way you can remember that is your inverse function switches your x and y, right? Your rise over run is basically going to be run over rise of the original. So you're switching the x and y. So if this is the slope, 1 over 6 is the slope on the original function, we're switching x with y. So the f inverse prime of 9, right, 9, is going to be 6 over 1. So it's the reciprocal of the original.